everybody, it's Katie from the Hive Collective, and we are on another episode of Let's Learn Together. And on today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make wings that are animated that attach to equipment slots for your avatars. So let's get started. Okie dokie, step one. Let's go ahead and we are going to spawn in a cube. And you're going to want it to be a little bit bigger because we're going to use it to align everything. And then we need to bring in our wings. Now, if you don't have wings, that's okay. If you go to the Invention store, I actually added ones called Katie's Tutorial Wings, and they're free. I made them so that way you would be able to follow along the tutorial just a little bit easier. Now, when we're looking at the cube with our wings, it's not snapping to it, and we need it to for the alignment to work. So we're going to go into Tools, and where it says Snapping, we're going to click on Surface. It's actually going to snap to that cube and make things a little easier. And then we get to bring in the most important piece to the entire puzzle, which is the sphere. Okie dokie. So we want to put that kind of in the middle. So let's go move. La da 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 da. And just get it just about right there. And I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller because the point of the sphere is we don't want to be able to see it, and we're going to try to hide it inside of our torso later. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to get you to do is drop your Maker Pen and take your Maker Pen back out. Something that is super duper important is setting up the pivot point on this. So now if you click on Edit, click on your sphere again, you're going to see the pivot point is currently way back there. We want to bring it so it's a little bit behind the sphere. So first things first, we're going to go to Select, we're going to click on that, and then we're going to go Options, Center Pivot on Selection. Now, this looks great in theory, except blue represents your forward facing, and so we need it to be where the green one is. So to fix that, right now, if I were to go to Rotate and try to change this, you can see they're not going to move at all. So now what we want to do is click on Done. So we're not in edit mode on the sphere anymore. And then we're going to re-click on it, and with our rotate, we're not going to click and drag. Instead, on this red bar, I'm just going to have you click once. And now you'll see the green is on the top, which is exactly what we need. For the record, the green does need to be on the top, and the blue is facing backwards, which is the opposite. So now if we look at this green bar and click it once, twice, the blue is now facing forward. And that's what we need because that's the direction we are going to be looking when we are holding this sphere. Okay, awesome. The other hiccup is that square is representing where our back is going to be, and we know we want this sphere to be hidden inside of our torso. So we actually need to move the sphere forward so that way the back is with the wings and it is going to be hidden inside of us. So let's go back to Edit. We're going to click on this. We're going to go to Move, and we're just going to bring this forward. And we're just going to go ahead and hit Done. And the only other thing is, now that I'm out of edit mode, I'm going to bring this forward a little bit because I know I want the wings to not be in my back, but just slightly off. So by bringing this forward, you can see there's just like a little bit of separation there now. Let's go into our palette, and we're going to grab Invisible Collision. And we'll go ahead and put it on that back wall there. And we're going to go Tools, Configure, click on it, and we're actually going to turn it off so it's not colliding with anything. And the reason we're bringing this in is because when we do the animation, it'll make the wings flap a little bit easier. So now let's go Tools, Clone. We need 2 of them because we need 1 for each wing. And then we're going to select them and move them forward because we want them to be kind of at the base of each wing, and we want them to be somewhat centered as well. And then we're going to go to Palette, we're going to grab an animation controller, and while you're in here, if you go to Tools, we're going to go back to Grid, because this next little bit we don't need surface snapping. We'll go ahead and we'll put this off to the side, and then we're going to grab some clamps. And we actually need 3 of these. 1 is going to be for the ball, 1 is going to be for the right wing, and 1 will be for the left wing. Oh my gosh, we're doing so good. All right, so if you go to Tools and go to Connect, we're going to wire some things together. Now what we want to do is we want to take the base of this clamp and attach it to the ball. And then we want to take the top part of this clamp and attach it to the animation controller. And then we're going to take the top part of this clamp and attach it to the wing, and we're going to take the base and attach it to the invisible collision on the left. We're going to take the top part of this one and attach it to the wing, take the base, attach it to the invisible collision on the right. Perfect. Okay, so now the fun part, animating. Let's go to Edit and click on your animation controller. We are going to add in one frame. We're going to click on Tools. We're going to click on Rotate. I'm going to go to my snapping settings. I want it to be set to a 30. Then what we're going to do, oh my goodness, I forgot a step. Hang on a minute. Click Done. Go back to Connect. We had to click. So when you're looking at the animation controller, you'll see there's, when you look at it, and it's kind of got the jiggity selection, or on the top you get the solid selection. We want to make sure we're clicked on the top part, and we're going to take that over and put it on this invisible collision. We're going to take that top part and we're going to go over and put it on the other invisible collision. Okay, now we can animate. So let's go Edit. We're going to click on this again. We already have the frame on there, which is awesome, but now when we go to Tools and we go to Rotate, we can actually click on this collision. And I'm just going to give it 1, and then I'm going to click on the other one, give it one little rotate there. And by having the snapping set to 30, I know they're rotating at the exact same amount, which is very nice. And then what we want to do is we want to go to Animation. We want to add another frame, and then I'm going to rotate it back. And again, because the snapping is set to 30, it's going to be a seamless transition. Perfect. Okay, so now let's go Tools. Let's click Done. We're going to go to Connect. Now this is super duper important. If the animation is not turned on and you grab that ball, everything is going to get detached from one another. So make sure your animation is turned on. And to do that, while you have Connect, we're going to look at the little play execution, click, hold, wait for that blue triangle, and let go. And now our animation is playing, which is super duper exciting, and it looks pretty good. The next thing we need to do is go to Configure, and we're going to look at this ball, click it. We're going to change it to Decoration, and we're going to make it grabbable. Now, everything is set up for the wings, which is great. The hiccup is we don't have equipment slots. So, if you go back into your menu and go to this room, go to Settings, you're going to scroll over to Game Roles, and if you go down to Everyone, click on that little cog. Number 1, you can turn on hip slots. You can turn on both of them if you'd like. But then if you click this little arrow, we're going to click on the shoulder equipment because we need the shoulder because we want this to be on our back. And then you can close out of this menu. You can drop your maker pen. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the moment of truth. All right, so let's grab it. All right, number 2 is for our back slot. We'll go into third person, give it a little turn. Ta-da! We have flapping wings, everybody, which is kind of cool. And I don't see the little ball. I can see that they're pretty close to my back, which is nice. If you want to move them around, you do have the option to do so. Press on stop so nothing's moving. I would disconnect your ball from your animation. So if for whatever reason it was sticking out and you needed to move it, that's totally fine. Again, you would have to hit Edit, click on it, and then at this point you can move it away from the pivot. I'm going to show you an extreme example of if it was outside your body. And we're going to go back to Done, Connect, take the base and attach it to the ball. There we go. And now, again, don't grab it unless you turn on your animation. So we'll come over here, click and press play. So if I go into third person, again, my wings are in a pretty good place, but because the pivot point, they're attached where the pivot point is, but the ball, as you can see, is outside my body. So if that happens to you, all you need to do is take that ball and move it closer to the pivot point, and then it will be hidden inside. I hope that this video was helpful and you guys are able to use it on your future maps. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time on Let's Learn Together. All right, bye guys.